away with excess anarchy, with no less value to property, no sense in war, but perfect sense at home. We're gonna kill the poor, kill the poor, kill the poor tonight. Kill the poor, kill the poor, kill the poor tonight. Hey, how's it going, folks? It's 9/11, so I guess never forget 9/11. Was an inside job, but yeah. So I talked about some American politics a bit yesterday, and some world politics a bit, and of course, the death of Charlie Kirk. And some people really didn't like what I had to say about it. Most folks were like, yeah, it's hard to feel bad for the guy. But I did want to just have a little, just a kind of chat about politics in the U.S. in general, and my perspective on that without I'm not trying to virtue signal, I guess, or promote anything. I just kind of want to have a free form dialogue with y'all about that. One thing that we can all agree on, I think, is that things are pretty intense right now and pretty scary. Especially if you happen to be certain marginalized folks, or at this point all folks that aren't white cisgender people, unfortunately. But white cisgender men, even women's rights have been getting eroded, and that sucks. And racism and misogyny is on the rise, and transphobia, homophobia, and then you've got a lot of people in power that are pushing this really white supremacist version. I hate saying this, but it's it's not a Christian agenda. It's their agenda, but they're using the terms of Christian people to promote hate and racism, and just awful things. So it's yeah. Terry says Charlie Kirk assassination reminds me of Oswald the Patsy and JFK assassination. Everything too easy. Yeah, they clearly planted that weapon. I saw a post earlier today that said they found the weapon, and first off, if there's a weapon in the woods, how are they gonna know that an assassin dropped it? And it just okay, this is what the post said that was released, that they found bullet casings. If you were a person that carried out this assassination successfully, you're not gonna carry you're not gonna place those bullet casings near the gun and stash it in the woods somewhere where people are gonna find it. That's super weird. And then they said that there was the words engraved on the bullet casings, they're trying to copy the Luigi thing or something, and it said transgender and anti-fascist ideology. No statement about those ideologies. That's just all it said. That's super funny to me, because a trans anti-fascist is gonna come up with something more meaningful than that. At least Deny, Defend, Depose had a lot behind it. There was clearly a lot of thought behind it. But just etching transgender anti-fascist ideology, just like, that's not even a statement. That's crazy. So like, you know, it really does look like a false flag. Everything about it, and who carried it out, I couldn't say. A lot of people are saying Mossad. A lot of people are saying like Trump himself. Could be both. I don't know. But the fact that they're trying to pin it on transgender people is extremely telling, and anti-fascist, because it really, really fits into their agenda and rhetoric. And they will, whether it was a setup or not, they will use that to further their genocidal agenda and transphobic attacks. And as a trans person in the U.S., it's been really scary. Licks Grid says suspiciously generic. That phrase is so like, that's like if I did something really, really fucked up, like I went and like vandalized somebody's house or something, and then I left like a little note on the table that said, "The Nazis did it, signed Nazis." Like, you know, it'd be like that, like no thought behind it, no like manifesto or whatever, just like really obvious, so, like, or whatever. I don't know. It's just too stupid. And the other thing that really fucking pisses me off is that, like, not only are they already using that situation to further their agenda and rhetoric of hate, but they're completely hijacking 9/11, a day when so many Americans were killed and hurt, and like some fucking asshole on my Instagram, a couple people did, but like I don't know how this person got through my message requests. Like maybe I approved them at some point. There was no like history of speaking to them, but they sent me unironically a video of Pete Hegseth, absolute fucking known white supremacist piece of shit, who's our Department of Defense, even though he's an alcoholic. And yeah, there's videos of him being a fucking totally disgusting piece of shit. But like there's, you know, he went and addressed some people in active military on 9/11 about Charlie Kirk, which is super fucked up and really disrespectful, honestly. Really disrespectful to those service members' time, and like really insensitive to anybody that knew people on 9/11, like regardless of if it was an inside job or not. It was. And there's receipts for that too. If you don't think that 9/11 was an inside job, then you're not paying attention. And if you don't think that the government would strike its own people to push a political agenda, then you are willfully ignorant. Because there's a lot of documented instances where the U.S. government killed and harmed American citizens. Digital Hobo says, "You're right, I didn't think about that. Crazy timing, right?" Yeah, it's really suspicious, isn't it? And it's sure getting people riled up. There's already been a number of white supremacist gatherings. They're big mad. See, they don't cry over thousands of children being bombed and starved to death, or the hundreds of transgender people or black people who've been found dead under very suspicious circumstances, but were ruled suicides. And they don't tell you about that in the news either. There was a young trans man who was murdered just a couple days ago, maybe even yesterday. It's hard to tell because you know, it's hard to get information about stuff. But he was like most definitely killed. But they ruled it as a suicide as well and said that there's nothing suspicious about it. There has been a rash of black people found hanging from trees, and they've ruled that suicides too, when they were clearly lynching. Just a Mom says, "He said your body, my choice, so fuck around, find out." Hey, did you guys hear about how like Jezebel, the women's magazine, actually went and paid a bunch of Etsy witches to hex um, Charlie Kirk a few days ago? That's pretty crazy. I bet those witches feel really powerful right now. Yeah, what do you guys think? And what kind of demographic are you guys? Let me know what your demographic is. Are you a white cis man? Are you a transgender white man? That's all okay. No wrong answers. Are you black, gender non-conforming, or cisgender? Don't matter. Whatever. What are you? Um, age, race, and gender. Filipino cis lesbian. That's cool. Hell yeah. I love me the Philippines. I've never been, but I have a number of friends from the Philippines, and everybody's been saying I would love it over there. Terry is a white Choctaw man. Okay, valid, dude. You can be white and Choctaw, that's for sure. Straight white male, 45. Right. Retro Mugshot says, rest in piss, Charlie Kirk. Indeed, rot in piss. That's what RIP stands for when you put it in front of Charlie Kirk. Common Sense is a white cis man. That's cool, man. That's cool with me. As long as you're not pushing it on me, man. We can coexist. No, I'm just kidding. That's what people say to me when I tell them who I am. You know, it's really unfair. We should all be allowed to be who we are, right? That's if you're in chat and you don't agree with that, then you can go fuck yourself, okay? We got a lot of old white men in here. That's not surprising. My channel does draw old white men. I am the old white man whisperer, and I'm not ashamed to say that. Retro Mugshot says, why did you say that about Charlie Kirk? Because Charlie Kirk is a piece of shit, and I'm glad that he's dead, and I'm not going to retract that. I'm not going to apologize for that either. And if you're shocked by that, then you need to realize that marginalized people have been affected in a very real way by that fucking piece of shit's rhetoric. And like, okay, you got to think about Charles Manson got locked up in prison, and it was like a weird situation, right? Because he didn't actually carry out the killing of those people. He motivated other people who followed him to go carry out those killings, right? But in the end, they were still able to what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know legalese. Convict him. That's what I'm trying to say. They ended up convicting him. And that's, you know, that's something to be studied, I guess. There's like, you know, people have written entire theses on that. So it's like, you know, words are not just words, and freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequence, right? Wasn't he also a CIA asset or something, Manson? I don't know. I'm not like a huge Charles Manson nerd. I just think that's interesting. I watched like a documentary one time, a couple times. Desert Deb is a straight white female. All right. YouTube does skew male middle age. Yeah, that's fair. Sapphire, 63-year-old genderqueer, Caucasian, and indigenous. Nice. Common Sense says, no, I won't push the cis agenda on you. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you. I love it when the shoe's on the other foot, man. Uh-huh. Justamon says, he said some casualties are expected to uphold legislation. He died for the advocacy he lived for. He did. You know, if you're a Charlie Kirk fan, you can take comfort in the fact that he became the statistic that he believed in. He died for your right to own guns, so thank you, Charlie Kirk, for dying for our right to own guns. But they're going to try and take it away from trans people, unfortunately. They're already trying to do that. Before this happened, they were trying to do that. So this is going to be a really convenient thing for them to blame on trans people so that they can, you know, further their agenda to say that people like me are mentally ill and put us in camps just like Hitler did. You know, Hitler did the exact same thing. And, you know, I'm not a historian or whatever, but, like, the Third Reich never really ended. A lot of those people that were part of, like, Hitler's crew or whatever the fucking legalese terms are, like, still lived on to live full lives, die of old age. I'm sure some of them are, like, maybe even still kicking, or their families are for sure. I don't know. And a lot of them went into positions of power in other countries. So, you know, that might be why it's so hard to trace where they all went. We should be able to do that. I think that we're in an era now where that's a possibility. You know, political criminals aren't going to be able to hide like they used to. Retro Mugshot says he was anti-gun violence. You're a fucking moron, dude. Holy shit. Are you serious right now? Lick Scrib asked, do you currently own firearms? I imagine it's essential when traveling. No, I don't. I have been known as a person that owns shotguns, kind of part of who I am, but I do not own one right now. I'm in the city. I don't need stuff like that. What did he say for gun violence? Bro, why are you defending somebody that you have no idea what his stance is? I don't fucking understand. That thing that Justin Mom said earlier about how there's a certain amount of people that need to die of gun violence in order for us to continue having guns, and he's pro that. Like, that was an actual quote that he said. Yeah, he said some casualties are necessary to uphold those rights. Yeah, really fucking gross. So he became a casualty, you know, he died for what he believed in. So, it's, I don't see why all his fanboys are so fucking mad about it. Like, I don't know. Like, at least the man had praxis pertaining to his own moral or sub-moral code. Plebix is very triggered in my chat, so I'm going to put you on timeout for 24 hours, just so you can come back again and be triggered again, and then I can ban you. That'd be really funny. Or you can, like, go and reflect on how fucking sorry you are, and come back with a better attitude later. Yeah, like, you know, if you're shocked about people being, you know, dunking on Charlie Kirk after he's died, like, you don't understand. It's really hard to be empathetic when every day of your life you risk being hate crime. And that is something that I deal with. It's been actually really scary. There's been a number of situations where I have been like, you know, this might be it. You know, like, life flashed before my eyes. Like, that truck has circled 5 times now. He's got right-wing decals. I'm out front of a trans event. That guy literally wants to shoot me. That type of thing. Like, that happens. I also, a couple months ago, experienced... Like, I was literally just riding the bus. I did not say one word. And this fucking guy just starts screaming at me, calling me a faggot and shit. And saying, like, something about God punishing me and how, you know, whatever. Fortunately, there was a really nice, I don't know if he was Samoan, but he, you know, looked like a large native man. And he came, like, to my aid. I didn't even have to say anything. This guy was just like, shut the fuck up. And I was like, dude, thank you. You know, like, thanks very much. Because I was not in the mood to deal with that shit. Like, you know, yeah, there's a lot of that. I get death threats all the time for my YouTube channel simply for existing. And I really don't want to just sit and talk about politics. Like, that's not what my channel is about. I'm an adventurer. I go on adventures. I do off-grid stuff. I have a cool dog. I do, you know, stuff with my dog. Like, I do art. That's what I would like to be doing content about. But it's at a point where, like, it's so pervasive. There is no escape from being directly threatened in American society. Like, hell, I've been considering leaving this country for, like, a while now. I've always kind of had this idea, like, you know, I really do care about, you know, the people here, and I love America, you know, as like a place, not the government. Turtle Island, if you will. I love the continent. I love the people here. and I always kind of felt like to myself that it was more like my duty to stick it out and continue my activism and try to make things easier for other people who are suffering here. And it's getting to a point where I'm like, man, at a certain point you gotta leave a sinking ship. So I don't know. It's not off the table for sure, but it really is that bad. Like people are fucking savages here, man. And it's not gonna get any better. Rot and piss, Charlie Kirk. Yes, I agree, Neil. He can rot and piss. Floyd says, I understand that you have had shit situations to deal with, but you are a tiny, tiny minority. I think people have an issue with massive changes for slightly amount of people. That makes absolutely zero sense. I don't know what the fuck you're trying to say. But also, if, it is true that transgender people are a very small minority of the populace. It's like, what, 11% or some shit like that? But look at how much hate a small amount of people get. Okay? It's unfair. You're scapegoating people. That's the issue. It's not like my problems are smaller because trans people are a smaller minority. That's not how fucking shit works. It's called scapegoating. It's just the same as in Nazi Germany, where they were like, the Jews are eroding our society. They're a disease. And even though, the Jews were not the majority of the population, it's better to punch at people that are weaker and at a disadvantage. That's how that shit works. Floyd says, I think you've made a victim, blah, 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 of yourself. I'm gonna just hide you on this channel because you're an idiot. Yeah. I gave you a chance, but you're not here to actually talk. You're just here to tell me that I'm the one with the problem. Go fuck yourself. Eat shit and die, you fucking pig. I'm actually really surprised that I'm not getting more trolls in here, but that's alright. Victor says, Kirk said, empathy is a made-up New Age term. I give him none as he didn't believe in it for others. His hateful self got karma handed to his ass. Hell yeah. That's right. Floyd is out here making zero sense. Yeah. That person's probably a bot, honestly. There's a lot of bots online, and there's more. There's a lot of shady deals going on between tech companies and politicians and people in power to promote propaganda. And a lot of that propaganda is promoted by bots, so they make it look like people on the internet are more right-wing radicalized than they are. They skew the numbers online, so it makes it look like there's a bigger amount of people that are I guess in agreement on certain things. Stacy Adele says you are valid, period, dot. Thank you, I appreciate that. Brian says, life's a cabaret like in Berlin 1930s. All I crave is my escape. I don't really know what that means, but yeah, I guess. Carl says, hi, Cornelius. I'm a 55-year-old cisgender bisexual white man. And Irish, Apache, Dutch, and Lakota Sioux. My paternal grandfather was German, grandmother was Apache. That's cool, man. Hell yeah. There you go. Yeah, I don't know. I've gone on this rant before, but like, white isn't a race. It's a racial descriptor that's based on nothing. That's why it means nothing. I don't like to call myself white, but when you're filling out a form, that's like what they want you to do. But that's not a culture or ethnicity. It's good to be proud of your culture. It's not good to be proud of being white, because whiteness is white supremacy. Being white, you're not white. You have actual ethnicity. Like Carl is Dutch and German and Irish, which are associated with whiteness, but not all of those were um, seen as white until it became convenient to the ruling class. Andrea says, "You are white." That doesn't mean anything, you fucking moron. If you left the US, where would you feel is your best place? I don't know. I have no idea. Probably start with Mexico and figure it out from there. Desert Deb says, okay, then I'm part Euro, part Mexican. Dope. Hell yeah. See, there you go. It's okay to be proud of who you are. People, you know, it's good to be proud of your culture. Whiteness takes away your culture. Whiteness erases culture. That's why they say white people have no culture. It's true, definitionally. If you most strongly identify as white and you have white pride, not only are you a racist, but you're cultureless, and you've alienated yourself from the rest of the world. I'm not saying that if you can be described as white that you are a bad person. That is part of the way that that's designed, so that no matter what, you're triggered, and you want to protect that whiteness and therefore uphold the white supremacist system that created it. Common Sense is from Finland. Hey, what's up? That's cool. Eastern European. Okay, that's cool, Desert Deb. Yeah, I'm Ukrainian and Norwegian and Irish. Yeah, I don't know. I might be Ukrainian Jewish, but that's not entirely confirmed, though there's strong evidence for that. I was adopted, so it's kind of hard to tell. I don't want to take a freaking DNA test either, because they sell all that information to like BlackRock and shit. So I'm not really into giving my DNA to BlackRock at this point in time. Rugu Numi says part libtard, part moron. That's good for you, man. I'm not a liberal, but I support you to express yourself. But that's not what I was asking. That's not your ethnicity or race. But you can identify as libtard if you want. Common Sense says Irish and Italians didn't used to count as white, right? Yeah, and Italians it's like a gray area, you know. Italians are white if they've like assimilated into a white culture, but if they start getting a little too ethnic, then they're not white anymore. You ever notice that? That's kind of like Eastern Europeans too. Like there's like a scale, and it really shows that whiteness doesn't mean shit. Just a Mom says they stack the votes by putting minorities in prison. Then the votes in those districts count more because the numbers are skewed by counting prisoners into the populace. Yo, that's true. That's actually, yeah. I mean, the American prison system is 100% corporatized. So that's another really really damning reason for that to be the case. Just Mom says that's another reason I think they are redistributing ICE detention centers. Totally. Yeah, that lines up. They're trying to advance this agenda. You know, like I was thinking about it, and like up until like the 1700s, there wasn't like, you know, there was kingdoms and stuff, and people, you know, the peasants started pushing for having more rights as members of the kingdoms and stuff, and there was you know, there was a lot of turmoil in that, and then yeah, I don't know, like the US is it it's a whole big, I wish that there was somebody that like, there's got to be somebody that does like a history lesson on how kingdoms evolved into governments, and then evolved into like shadow governments, and evolved into like, you know, a secret global elite or whatever. Because I have a feeling it's the same families that have been ruling most of the planet for the last few hundred years, right? Francisco says, love your haircut and your style. Keep it up. Thanks. I'm getting a haircut tomorrow, so it'll be a little different next time I come on. The Rothschilds. Yeah, the Rothschilds are definitely one of those oligarchical families. Yeah, it's crazy. And, like, I feel like most people that are, like, somewhat paying attention know this. Like, we all know it. Like, but what can we do? Pitchforks and torches. Yeah, for real. That's how they did it in the old days. Oh yeah, we're at like halfway through the video. If y'all want to, my birthday is on Saturday, and I am broke as usual. So if anybody wants to get down with the kickdown, I think I put links in the description this time. Let's take a look. Max, I don't know if you mean for that to be a rude comment, but it kind of sounds like it might be a rude comment. Liam Marriott, that is definitely a rude comment. Oh, Sapphire got to it first. Nice. Roger is triggered by my dog's name. That's really fucking pathetic, dude. Unless you like it. Satan, come here. Satan. Hello. You're so cute. Oh my god. Oh, you do a stretch? Yeah. What a baby. I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you. Yeah, it might be Satan cheese time. If my mods... Oh, you're already doing it. Nice. If anybody wants to get down with the kickdown so that I can get Satan some more treats and some birthday stuff, there's the links in the chat. I would appreciate it. Kick down to a fucking trans anarchist on 9/11. How many people can say that they did that? The more you kick down, the funnier it gets. Oh, what did you do for 9/11? Oh, I gave money to a transgender YouTuber with a dog named Satan. Cool. Fuck yeah. Let me... Oh, hey, it looks like somebody may have, actually. Oh, those are from yesterday. Still cool, though. I'm still stoked about that. Wait, which one's Roger? Oh. The triggered guy in chat. Nice. Hey, Roger, fuck you. How about that? Let me give my dog some more cheese. If you guys think Roger sucks, give me $1. I know some... Give me $10. I don't know. Fucking send some money to my PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App. Let me take a look. Let's see if anybody did. Beep. Common sense like cheese. Hell yeah. Alright, nothing in the Cash App. Let's take a look at Venmo. Just in case. We're having a little cheese party here. Oop. Nope, nothing in the Venmo. Beep. Oh yeah, a piece of news for me. I quit Kratom again. Not cause... I don't know. Mostly because it's expensive and I'm poor as fuck. That's why I'm soliciting for money on a fucking... a Thursday on YouTube. Yeah. I use it for pain. But... yeah. Also, it's kind of hard on my stomach, so... I don't know. I'm kind of just not using Kratom right now. I'm not really using anything for the pain. I'm in a lot of pain, unfortunately. Bodie Burt says, sup, corn, gay, rude boys unite. Hey, what's up, dude? Hell yeah. Oi, oi. Scotch said, hi, what's up? Desert Dad says I can kick down on Monday. Thank you, that's sweet of you. Hell yeah. Oh shit, Margaret. I forget who that is in chat. I don't want to dead name you on stream. Nobody knows that that's you. Fuck. Who was that? They said Roger sucks. Thank you. Man, hell yeah. Brian says, happy birthday, Cash App incoming. What a sweetheart. Fuck yeah. That's so funny. I love that. Somebody actually kicked down to say Roger sucks. Yeah, Roger, you suck.